Well, what we've been waiting for, or rather what I have been waiting for, is finally here. You know, it's my favorite day of the week, and I've saved all my energy for today. It's Friday! So, you know, it's time for Hot Topic Special. We got just the right guest to end the week with. Trust me.
Anyway, I'm sorry to break it to you. But Hot Topic Special Friday is actually everyone's favorite, okay? Because you know you like to pick on things that make you feel as if it's yours. It's just like thinking that the nose ring is yours. It's not.
Because this thing that Lola is saying, when the guest comes today, Lola is going to be all over the guest.
Exactly.
Trying to just cobblize somebody.
It's not my fault that everybody loves me more than you all.
No, you force them to.
I don't. I put my good character forward and they gravitate towards it.
We'll find out now.
Especially anybody that has a broad tongue is mine.
So you leave the local people for us.
And anyway, you look good. I have to say that, even though it hurts me.
You look amazing, Lola. Why? Like, you've left the
But you know there are many...
You're moving towards Gen Alpha.
Well, I don't want to say I'm aging backwards, but every day I awake,
It's
I just shave off.
Shining for me. The bling on the nose, Lolo.
It's my first time wearing a nose ring. Everybody celebrates with me.
I'm jealous. I
want
one. I told her to go and give me one.
I will get. But you know, there's some colors that work together, but you hardly think of them. Like what she's wearing is some shade of green and this kind of
it was a
color.
mistake.
Yeah.
The first time I put it together, I was like, oh.
And gold, the shoe accentuates it. I don't know, it just works everything.
It's nice.
It hurts to say it. I wish I was the one wearing it, but I'll give it to you today.
Ladies, quickly, what's the plan for the weekend?
I am out doing meet and greet. I'm at every cinema supporting my sister Funke. That's all I'm doing. If I stand up now, they will come for me.
Please, they'll come for you. Let's stop there.
Yeah, so I said supporting my sister Funke.
It's okay.
It's her birthday.
We understand the language.
For me, I think the more I try to hide, the more I have to be, or I need to be outside. But I'm not outside.
No, but you're outside. You're collecting your house keys.
Okay.
Wow.
You're not doing it again?
No.
And if we tell Blessings to come and do housewarming now, we'll just hear cricket. Silence.
No, is this one social? She'll serve us chinchi and drinks. And I don't want to eat that. I'm sorry.
And
I would rather have granite stew and eba. Yeah. And I didn't tell you guys, I had owo soup for the first time. Have you had it before?
No.
What?
Oh my God, Nigeria is so rich.
Owo.
I actually felt I was eating owo soup. It's from Delta.
Well, they said it's just some people call it owo and then some people call it oha.
No, oha is different.
No, I was in Warri this weekend. I had banga and starch for the first time. Jesus!
It was nice.
It was nice. But I was told that owo and oha are the same thing by different names.
It's not the truth.
Oh, wow.
It's not the truth. Oha is a different kind of soup. Oha is actually the leaf.
Yes, oha is the leaf.
But owo soup is made with potash and some kind of special palm oil. There are two variations of it. There's a cooked one and the uncooked one. I felt I was eating food for kings. You know, they put a lot in my plate. I was like, please, can you take some out? Like, it's too rich.
Yeah, so the one that made me feel that way, and speaking of first, is fisherman soup.
Fisherman soup is on another level.
I had fisherman soup.
Where did you have it?
There's a new place around Ikeja. My goodness. I went there and then they were like, I said, let me just.
Did they have periwinkles in it?
It had every sea animal.
See, I'm sorry.
Very
There's no
expensive
fisherman
food.
soup like the one you go and eat where they make it. I had fisherman soup in Calabar.
No.
I was looking for how to buy this
My
thing, freeze
God.
and bring it back to Lagos. The same thing with banga.
It's very
I spent Sunday
expensive.
worried looking for how to get banga, freeze it, and bring it back to.
I make banga soup very well.
Best.
Banga is up
that's
my
what you
alley.
need to teach me.
No, banga is up my alley. The only challenge is just pounding your banga. But another tricky thing is knowing how to combine spices.
Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of spices, and it's the combination of your spice that gives you that unique flavor.
Yes,
and I found out that different banga, they have different little, you know, all those little variations that makes taste different. It's just like if you don't put that wood inside, they have one wood like this that you put in it. It just gives it another flavor. If anybody tells us in Africa we don't have flavorful food, please let the Igbo people go and sit down. All they cook is chicken. They will not be dipping it in creamy sauce to eat.
And fries.
No, that's not food. Anyway, it's Hot Topic Special Friday, and our guest is hot. I mean, she's hot. No. She's hot. And she's bringing a Abroadian flavor to the Jasiri table today. So you know when I say she's mad, because we are living abroad. Yes.
Yeah,
make sure you don't go anywhere. Yes. My accent hasn't
It
changed.
hasn't changed. She's not working yet.
Oh, because you have bougie accent. I know how much Reverend Pastor.
No, can you fake an accent?
I could, if you want me to.
Which
It
accent can you
depends.
fake?
I could do a
British.
little bit of British, a little.
Britico.
I could be a Britico a little, and I could fake some American accent if I'm
Oh.
listening to them speak.
You're doing good, actually. I've never
Yes,
heard
I
you.
do. I can, but you can't continue it because you're going to be forced.
Your bad girl will come out.
That's why I have a problem with people that go on radio and speak in foreign tongue.
What was the words?
No, and it told you they will start Nigerian, continue British, mix a little bit of American, then they'll finish with Cockney.
The problem is if you're not
I'll be
careful,
like,
you'll just be
what's
hearing
going
some. Australian will enter that one. Then maybe if you're not careful, you might just hear a little bit of South African. You're
I'm like, Kilo
the
Shalabi.
influences are, remember Lafa?
Too much.
Locally acquired foreign accents. When we were in radio, someone did, that morning radio just scattered. Another radio station, one radio station had presenters who went on and decided to give locally acquired foreign accent awards. So people in Nollywood and so people in the public space. That week, they were on everybody's blacklist.
It was terrible.
Everybody's blacklist. I was just getting calls like, are you listening? Of course I'm not listening. It's a rival station.
Yeah.
But I got off here and we all laughed.
We all
know
laughed.
them.
And so one thing I've realized is if you have a strong Nigerian accent, and when I say Nigerian, like different parts of Nigeria, the one I experienced was the Yoruba
Accent.
H-factor.
H-factor.
For the
H-factor
first
is
time
so
in my life,
demonic.
I saw somebody who had a British accent with a
H-factor.
strong H. I never heard it before.
Wow.
Because that H factor is very
It's
difficult.
difficult
your
to get rid
ancestors.
of.
It has happened to me on this set.
So look, we need to talk about this.
No,
I actually think we should not shy away from our mother tongue because half of the time I hear Kenyans speak English, I hear South Africans speak English,
And they have the
I can feel the
intonation.
influence of their language on it. But in Nigeria, they make you feel as if because you're not speaking like bougie English, you're not speaking right.
But I also think that it's by association. Because I never had H factor until I started mingling with some people. As at 3 years ago, I'm serious. As at 3 years ago, I'll go on and I'll be like, "Hi, I'm."
But you guys have not caught it. It has happened to me once on this set. And I know because of the job we do.
The woman inside cannot.
You just have to
continue with the job, but in my head, subconsciously, I'm like, babe, did you just say what? You just say. You breathe on it. I breathed on it. I said my ancestors in Obama are calling me.
All right, guys. Honestly, it's gonna be a packed show. You know, when the girls are really excited like this, we're gonna be talking a lot of things. We're talking Lagos State arresting miscreants. Are they? Someone says sorry is not enough. Yes. We'll also get into Kemi Badenoch saying that she's not our PR representative.
Can she just keep quiet?
Kilo
already?
de go
You people are the ones calling her out. You're the one. I love LMQ or what?
Sileno.
Okay, can we just leave her alone
The
already?
story of the 18-year-old British teen who has been sentenced to jail for sex in Dubai. That's very...
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So stay with us. The show is going to be amazing. Yes, the face says it all.
It was not good.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, off air, we're talking about our firsts when it comes to food, and I'm already salivating, but I'll try to stay focused. Our guest today is not just a digital creator and beauty influencer, but she's also a natural hair influencer, and you'll see that in a bit, who has started a community to encourage young girls to love their natural hair. She's also added documentary producer to her bio. The bio choke. Ladies and gentlemen, our amazing guest for today.
I tell you, I like it when people take my breath away. And I appreciate the way African women are pushing our own African beauty. Before, the standard of beauty was so European.
Yes.
I even heard in the early years.
Introduce the guest,
Our beauty is confusing me. Okay, come to yourself, Lolo. No, everybody at home, if you were staring at this kind of beauty, would you lose yourself for a minute? Anyway, Adanna Madueke, welcome to Just Siri.
Thank you.
All I want to say, looking at you, is chocolate and caramel. Ooh. Anyway, I know because you're one of our diaspora sisters, I'd like to ask, how has Nigeria been treating you since you came?
Honestly, we thank God. I think the traffic, I still have to get used to it every single time. But
There's no getting used to.
No,
Yes.
we live by it.
I'm telling you.
And I think because it's this end of the year again.
Yes.
I was in Lekki the other day. I'm like, nope. I'm not going back to Lekki until January. I don't understand.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. It's like everyone wants to be there at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the same time, absolutely. But welcome to the show.
Thank
you so much for
you.
gracing us with your presence. And we have a lot of hot topics, so let's get straight into them. So we start here in Lagos State, where on Wednesday, the Lagos Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, took to his X to announce the arrest of 51 street traders and miscreants during a midnight operation. Now, the clearance operation was at Mosley Street, Alexander Street, Ikoyi, and environs. Those arrested will be tried in courts in accordance with the relevant laws of the state. Now, there have been several clearance operations in Lagos since Wahab became commissioner, and that's the video you see there. This is an interesting one for us. We've followed a lot of the work that Tokunbo Wahab has done since he's become commissioner here in Lagos, clearance operations. He's also overseen a lot of the removal of structures. That's the word I'm using, but you're talking about houses and homes that have been blocking waterways across Lagos State. And so the conversation continues, and now they're doing, or they have been doing, midnight operations in which they're clearing up miscreants, quote unquote, who they call miscreants, and then street traders. There's even some that they do during the day. I know we have videos of that. But this is, it's interesting because earlier this week we had a conversation around arresting people, putting them in jail versus community service, because our jails are already overcrowded. There are people awaiting trial for 8, 10 years, and it's just an absolute miscarriage of justice. But when you hear Lagos State saying they're doing these operations, ladies, what comes to mind first? Are we 100% in support of this? I want to start with Adanna.
Okay.
I think for me, it's more like a 50-50 thing. I could see the benefit of doing it. At the same time, what exactly are we doing to avoid people to come to the streets to have to sell? Like, I feel like the cause needs to be solved before trying to eradicate. Like, okay, now we're taking everyone to jail. Where are we putting them?
In jail.
How long?
Exactly.
How long will they be there for? Who's actually going to build them? Which money?
A lot of them don't. And that's where a lot of people are having conversations around the criminalization of poverty. That is also an assumption that these people are poor or don't have places to go. There was a clearance operation they did a while back, and it was just a whole bunch of guys, young men in particular, just I won't say aimlessly, but without a known location, a known address, a known home, a known job, and they conjugate together. But we're the same ones in Lagos who will talk about traffic, crime in traffic, people getting robbed in traffic, people being unable to use pedestrian bridges and being robbed, and just a general sense of insecurity. So they're doing something like this. We're complaining about insecurity, but then a lot of people are not happy.
But Olu, sometimes you're wondering that, is this government really sincere? Because all these people that they call, quote and in quotes, miscreants, they are the ones that are taking illegal tolls everywhere. They will tell you they're doing it in the name of one local government or the other. So now you turn around and say because they are in the streets at night or because they are hovering around supposed elite community areas like Ikoyi, Alexandra.
But they do this in other places. That's why I made the point.
That's why I'm wondering that, okay, it's because they are around that place at this time. You pack all these people off the street to put them where? The prisons, just for loitering the streets, at least they were not caught maybe stealing or killing.
So I think
they are going to pack all these people into the prison that is already congested with people that are really known criminals. By the time they get tired and they push them out, they make connections in that prison to go and do more havoc outside.
I think that
we need a more holistic. I keep telling them that farming is so good. Why are they not taking all these boys off the streets, taking them to one farm in maybe Ota, one mad acre farm, large acre mechanized farm, and allowing them work and earn?
So my question is, how do you categorize miscreants in the first place? Because looking at the series of demolitions we've had this year, you can't tell me that the people who have been rendered homeless are not a part of them. You can't tell me the people who have nowhere to go are not a part of them. So categorizing everybody under the miscreants, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well for me. And like you both said, like where would they put them? And we have become so accustomed to just arrest and throw in prison. Everybody's awaiting trial. Either you're awaiting trial or you're in prison or you are... it's not necessary. There's so many other things that you can have them do than lock them up in prison.
Farming.
Than congest in the prison.
Actually,
But Adanna, see, I think I think we as Nigerians are confused because we want the security. People will pass these areas at night and they'll shout at the state government and say, oh, there's no street lights. I've seen these boys everywhere. What are you doing about them? Then the government is doing what they can do about them. And then we're still saying, oh, we don't think you should be doing it this way. It feels like even somehow we don't exactly know what we want.
No, I just feel like the approach is different because clearing that place wouldn't guarantee that some boys will not still come back in the middle of the night and throw thorns on the road for your tire to pass through. Do you get it? It doesn't guarantee. So maybe beef up the security in those areas. Yes, I'm okay with you clearing out the place, but don't just arrest everybody and categorize them as criminals or miscreants. It just doesn't sit well for me. The fact that you're clearing them out does not mean that people will still know. In fact, the more isolated a place is, it becomes more unsafe because if it's isolated and you're driving there alone, you just see two people whispering to each other on both sides of the road. They come from nowhere, so it doesn't mean that they're staying there. They can take a bike there, do what they want to do, and then leave there.
Adanna, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, honestly, I'm all for them clearing. Like, it's part of safety, it's part of security. But at the same time, we need to solve the problem that makes people want to come there in the first place. Like, we need to empower these people with skills, proper skills. So they actually have, you know, like you said, farming. They have something doing. Because at the end of the day, like you said, people can actually come there and sneak in there at night just to do whatever they want to do and have their deals done. Because she also mentioned, the more the place is deserted, the more crimes can actually happen there. Do you get what I mean? People can actually go there to sell drugs at night and just do their whatever connection they need to do over there and call it a day. So I think, aside clearing, the clearing is a good part of it. That's a way forward, of course. But for us to eradicate the issue of, you know, people having the need to even be there, proper skills and, you know, job should be given for these individuals.
I think
how can we even criminalize? Are you telling me it's a criminal offense to be roaming the streets?
if you're loitering, if you're considered
Loitering,
yes.
By the time, what's the penalty?
I'm not sure.
But all those things are things that we should really look at.
But see, guys, Lagos cleared a number of shanties this year, right? And those were shanties that people had already complained about were not. First of all, the public health issue around the shanties was one thing. That, of course, where they were located, those places were not set aside to be shanties. They've been cleared. But I think one of the things, Adanna talked about, like, the root cause. I think we keep forgetting that they're saying that, like over 8,000 people come to Lagos every single day or every week or something like that. Lagos is literally the most attractive state in the country. It's almost like our New York. You feel like if you enter Lagos and you make it in Lagos, you've made it, you know? And so people are coming to Lagos without a plan, without knowing anyone, without any job prospects, and they come into this city. And it's not because it starts to feel like sometimes an elitist and gentrified conversation when we talk about it. But we have a huge homeless population, which has been added on to with some of the things that Lagos has done. But some of those things have been necessary. Must everybody come to Lagos, especially if you don't have a plan for what you're doing in Lagos? Doesn't Lagos have a right to say, you know what, if you don't have an address, if you're not in a home, if you're not a taxpayer, if you're sleeping on the street, if you're doing this, we don't want you. We're going to clear the streets of you.
We don't want you is, I don't have a problem with them clearing the streets or whatever. My own is what you use, because they are wasting resources. The people you clear today, trust me, Tolu, in another 2 weeks, there will be more people to clear. Because you've been wondering where these people are coming from. They will just fill in the space that was left.
And they might even empty that place and relocate
to another. We need to find what to do with them. It's either you want to stop them, you want to make sure that the borders of Lagos are not easy to just come into, or you have to find purpose for these people. Or else what we think we're doing as good, we'll keep doing it to be a recurrent thing that would have no end. You pack them, they stay a while, they come back. And by the time they come back, they've learned even more dangerous ways to be.
Because of the association.
Because of the association. So we need to really find where to purpose these people. Or else, this is just an exercise they've been doing for a long time. And where is the result? Really?
I think, we'll continue to follow. As we said, that Tokunbo Wahab has most people probably see him as one of the most hardworking commissioners Lagos has ever had. But it's a very tough, it's a very fine line he walks. You know, it's a very fine line. It's an interesting one. Blessings, we have another. I want to get into this because she's a public figure. I want us to get into this story.
On to the next one. Now, our next story, I want to say we listen, we don't judge, but it's like it's a judge that will settle this matter last. So here are the dates. Now, earlier this month, at Nkurukama, a user on X took to her account to make a bold statement. She claimed that there was a discovery of, wait for it, $800 million, 700 billion naira in cash, and drugs worth 1 trillion naira at the home of Bello El-Rufai, the son to the immediate former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. The post also alleged that a violent confrontation occurred during the raid, which led to the death of 2 EFCC officers. The tweet quickly went viral before she deleted it following public scrutiny and a response from El-Rufai and the EFCC. Now, Bello El-Rufai strongly denied the allegations, calling them baseless and defamatory. That's like the mantra for these kind of allegations. Just come and say they're baseless. He stated that the supposed raid never occurred and that he does not own a personal residence in Kaduna State, apart from his family home. The EFCC also issued a statement debunking the claims, labeling them as fake news and urging the public to disregard them.
Anyway, following the allegation, El-Rufai announced on social media that he would pursue legal action against at Nkurukama and offered a reward for information about the individual. Not long after he took the legal action, Nkurukama made a public retraction of the claims and admitted that they were false. El-Rufai has expressed his intent to seek legal redress despite a retraction and apology. Stating that the damage to his reputation has already been done, he said, "I can't forgive you. You must go to jail." Whoa.
It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Man, you're in the public lights. I don't know if we've ever had a situation where people have just outright come out and lied about you.
To be honest, I haven't.
Oh, you're blessed.
I haven't.
You're blessed. So what do you
Lie about such a beautiful face.
That's why they would even lie.
you know? So what do you think about this situation? Because right now, obviously, EFCC has said it's false. Bello El-Rufai has said it's false. The person who posted it has come out to say, oh, he's false. Why? I don't understand. Why? What do you think would drive someone to make up such a detrimental narrative or a claim about somebody else?
Clout.
I feel like now you said this, nowadays, I also noticed that social media has given a lot of audacity. Like, how do you just wake up in the morning and just type something that you're not sure of? Because that's actual defamation. Honestly, she needs to be, I agree. You can't take it back. You can't take it back.
But because
you can't take it back.
I'm worried that to make such a
bold statement
on that level, and the things you are alleging is not something that is easy. You alleged drugs,
a shootout,
money laundering,
causing people's death.
Yeah.
So there's so many things in here. You even put a picture, as if she was there to record it live. Except she has a recording of this. If it's true, and she does have a recording, she can just leak it online and say, I'm not lying.
But after an apology and retraction, you can't even leak anything.
You can't leak nothing. Now she has retracted. What even made her make the post in the first place? I'm just wondering, is it she wants to be noticed? And you are not even talking about just anybody. You chose a high net worth individual that can come after you.
This thing you said about being noticed. Don't you guys remember there was a story about the guy who wrote, I can't remember whether it was about Junior Pope or one of
that he was sleeping with the wife of somebody late.
No, there's somebody else. Oh, it's coming to me. 5-star music. Oh my God. Nobody know 5-star music.
Yes.
Anyway, but he wrote a post.
Casey's brother.
And then Casey's brother, E-Money, thank you so much. And then E-Money takes up the case. And then the guy says, I just wanted you to notice me. How? After you lied about him on social media. So Adanna is talking about audacity. I don't think it's just an audacious situation we're facing. This thing is like a drug to people. The validation of the likes and the retweets and the reposts and the people saying, oh, where did you get your information? Oh, yes, it's true. Then you now find yourself telling lies about someone, and now you could be facing defamation. You're facing defamation. We have this situation. We're still with VDM and the Falanas. We still have the situation.
This one is
Happy Darlington and Bernie. Jay-Z at this point too, asking that his rape accuser be named. I think people forget, and when it comes to celebrities, also let's be honest, El-Rufai's family can be a controversial family, and Bello El-Rufai has been a controversial figure for many years, and so it's easy for people to see a story like that and run with it, of course, because a lot of us also have confirmation bias. When we don't like people, any negative news about them, we want to run with it. And so many people on social media do not bother to verify anything.
Even we that are journalists, I check the source before I carry. That's why you see
Even
some
source
things I
these
will not
days.
even like, I will not even comment because I have not been able to verify this source. Before you'd go and endorse something and you will come back and bite you like, no, it's not true.
I'm so surprised at how even the most literate of people in Nigeria fall for some of these things. There's a particular blog. I'm not saying they lie. I'm not saying they tell the truth, but they brought out a list of men
that were
something like that.
supposedly gay.
Yes. And everybody was like, can you believe this person's on the list? I'm like, I can't believe you actually believe it. That's the conversation here, because did he sleep with all of them? How did he know? How did he find out? Or she, I don't know if it's a he or a she. But the fact that people are so gullible, and I've always said this, except if it's a case of defamation, of course, sometimes the attention that celebrities give these people is what gives them the impetus. See what this person said. I just want you to know. There's so many other people like that.
But how long do you keep ignoring? So she has said she hasn't faced it. But how long, Lolo? How long do you keep ignoring?
No, some people
Everyone, every day you wake up, there's something bad.
So the thing is,
until somebody is made an example of, I'm not talking about small example.
I agree.
Imagine if somebody goes to jail and stays there for like 3 years.
Nobody will try it again.
By the time you come out and you know that this
But the problem is they seem to forget, because with all of these pending cases, you won't believe that somebody will still come and say something.
Be Darlington, if Brianna follows this up, trust me, a lot of people would get, their head would become correct.
It is their medicine.
But will they? Because the other side of this now is people are saying, oh, she has issued a retraction, she has apologized, that he should forgive. And then we look at it in terms of, so again, I talked about Bello El-Rufai and him being a controversial figure. But when these situations happen, Nigerians now make it look like a David and Goliath. That the Goliath is the elite person, the person who's well-known, that wants to stamp, like it's the conversation happening with Burna Boy and Speed Darlington, that he's using his might to be oppressing him. And that he's and I'm thinking to myself,
you know, Nigeria,
did you hear what he said about him?
These days, we have to look at Nigerians from many angles. There are a lot of uneducated, educated Nigerians that just see something and they jump on the wagon because they want to have a say. They do not have any clear thinking. They do not even have information on what they're commenting on. Has it ever happened to you that you read some people's comments? Out of curiosity, I go to their page and I would look at you know, you can tell a person's life sometimes by looking at what they post. You know that this person has no sense naturally. That even if you respond to this, it's like responding, it's just like a baby talking gibberish, maybe a 1-year-old, and you're having an argument with a baby that is 1-year-old, that is still blabbering, that has not put, that her words or his words have not come out. That's how I see many Nigerians. So half of the time when I see people making comments on social media, I don't really put any thoughts to it.
So, but the scary part is, gone are the days when they used pseudo accounts to troll people. Now they will use they will even use business accounts that have a phone number.
And that's the beauty. By the time we start to sue them, you know, I keep saying that if somebody has not seen the end of a thing, they might never know. You know, now we're just talking. They've not really seen a live experience of somebody that defamed someone and went to jail and suffered for it. But if it happens to like a speedality, that maybe they end up for the next 1 year, nobody hears anything about him.
I want to know if Adanna, if she supports jail for defamation, because a lot of people say it's a civil matter, it shouldn't be criminal. But even in this case, should Bello El-Rufai accept the apology and, you know, leave it to God? Because Nigerians are saying
imagine if the government has some vendetta against them.
Wait,
and they use this kind of thing to come after them. And they come to search their apartment and
before we get to reactions, Adanna, is it she has apologized, let it go.
I'm a Christian, Let's start from there. Disclaimer. I'm a Christian, actually. I believe in God very much so. I love him so much. However, it's forgivable. Yeah, I think he should forgive her, yes. Forgive her. But that crime needs to be penalized.
So what? Since he said
that crime,
how about the one that happened to
Nathaniel Bassey? I'm forgiving you, but you need to collect your punishment.
No, she's not saying forgiveness means you let go. You don't have any consequences.
Yes,
I'm forgiving you. Don't I have no grudge.
But you remember the Nathaniel Bassey issue?
No, I don't.
Oh, you never heard? No. Where some funny guy came out and said that
he should check the Mercy
Chinwo's child looks like Nathaniel Bassey.
He didn't say it looks like. He said
they must do DNA.
Yes, they must do DNA.
Those are really those are very damaging statements.
We don't know where it's
but
gone.
Those are the things I want, because in law, if you do not follow the letter, if you do not allow the law to run its course, we'll just keep having unending cases and people will just get away with things they needed to be penalized for. If all of them are probably listening to, I'm sorry. So that gives these younger people more impetus to say, forgive, I'll just be crying. And a lot of people will know my blog.
Let's take some reactions to this because it's a story that has generated a lot of reactions. So let's see what people are saying. We've said our own. Someone said, forgive, LMAO. She should prove her case in court. He's very much entitled to everything he can legally squeeze out of her. If the court decides an apology and retraction is enough, then fine. But there's no room for forgiveness. Somebody else says, 1, acknowledging errors and offering sincere apologies is a hallmark of effective leadership. You have done well, and this singular act alone draws respect to you. 2, I trust that Bello El-Rufai will accept the apology. We learn and we move on. 3, we must all strive to refrain from defamatory online postings. Those who encourage such behavior and urge you on will not share the consequences of any resulting repercussions. They will be online, urging others to continue in the same wrong path as well. These people are cowards. Don't allow cowards shape your thoughts. And 4, let us consistently demonstrate mutual respect for one another. And 5, I'm already seeing 2025 as a huge year of defamations and apologies. And I agree, because this 2024. Sincerely acknowledging errors and faults is good, but doesn't serve as detriment to the same person or others. It's also not justice to the defamed. I think the will of justice should be allowed to grind. Lack of consequences for bad behaviors is the reason why these are rampant. Let's take one more. Something they fact check him, her, itself. Man. There's no need for all this shalaye here. Just reserve it for the court. Will you break down in detail the cocktail of psychedelic drugs that inspired your fantasy news? As in, you literally wake up, you take a picture anywhere from the internet, and you say that it is a drug bust, it is this money. You even now add that there was a shootout with EFCC and 2 people died. I think this is even beyond that.
She's a lawyer?
Apparently, that's what they're saying, yes.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, Lola is your people.
And there's something
that makes it worse. That makes it worse.
That makes absolutely worse.
That makes it worse.
We had a lawyer here one time.
I just no evidence. Maybe she was a witness.
So even if
I saw
it's
it
true,
with
the
my
fact that you have
naked
no
eyes.
evidence is a problem. We had a lawyer here one time that was saying something about, I'm paraphrasing, something about continuous damage.
Yes.
Like you've already put it out
Yes.
there. Whenever anybody comes across it, and let's not lie, this is social media. There's a digital footprint. Delete it or not. Some people had a
Blogs
string
carried it.
Yes. So it's already there. When anybody comes in across it, some people might come across it and not come across a follow-up story.
Yes.
And just say, oh, this is what happened. Oh, he's a thief.
She's a legal practitioner. I hereby retract the post I made on X, formerly Twitter, on the 5th of December, where I shared that a raid was conducted, yada, yada, yada. I hereby wholeheartedly apologize for the said post. I did not verify the veracity or truthfulness of the statement before posting. All attempts thereafter to verify it proved abortive. I have since discovered that the statement is completely false. Please kindly accept this letter as a retraction of my said post and as an expression of my sincere apology. I never intended to offend or embarrass you, your family, or the Federal House of Representatives, nor to harm you. I'm so sorry.
Are you kidding
I'm so sorry
me?
This is not enough.
So that means what she even did was she posted before even making any attempt to verify.
Something that weighty.
As a lawyer, I'm quite embarrassed at such.
That's wrong.
I think you should even carry more weight.
Yeah, you should know the law.
Yes.
Wow, guys, let's go on a break. We have 2 semi-international stories we need to get into. Kemi Badenoch has replied, the Vice President of Nigeria, and the story of a young 18-year-old British boy who's in jail for holiday sex in Dubai. We'll give you the details after this. Our guest is so fine, but you are, of course, still here on Jasiri on a Hot Topic Special Friday. Our beautiful guest is Adanna Madueke. She's a beauty influencer, digital content creator. She's a natural hair influencer, and now she's a documentary filmmaker as well. Adanna, before we get into our... Hey, Lord, time is gone. Before we get into our other stories quickly, I wanted to talk to you and ask about, this documentary you made, encouraging women and young girls to love their natural hair. What was your own sort of natural hair journey into accepting your natural hair? Some people on this table have never seen their natural hair.
Yeah.
But
It can be me.
We'll leave that conversation for another
It cannot be me, Sha.
I have no hair. So it cannot be me.
I didn't see that coming. I think for me, mine stemmed from a sense of like identity. Like I moved from Nigeria to Canada by myself, and I really didn't have anyone to take care of my hair. Like I did not know anything about my natural hair. I just knew that I had a hair glued on my head. How to take care of it, I did not know. So that kind of forced me to get into understanding, okay, I don't know, you need to figure out this in your life because I don't understand what's going on. I had braids from Nigeria that I had it for 4 months when I was going to Canada.
Wow.
As soon as I took that braids, girl, because I didn't know what to do, I just got a comb and combed the whole thing out. By the time I was done, my hair was on the floor with headache. Wow. So that was the very first thing that I just wanted me that, okay, you really need to know what you're doing. Yeah. I still remember when I used like body wash to wash my hair because I didn't even know like the
why do we have to take
it gets darker before dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of us use Laura soap.
Darry's still trying to find, okay, what am I going to do to take care of my hair? I remember I was trying to get someone to braid the hair for me to go back to school. And I found a lady that told me she was going to charge me $20 to do the hair. I said, girl, I only have $20 in my account. Where do you want me to get $20 from? So that was how I kind of forced myself to start doing my own hair by myself. Thankfully, I've always loved doing hair from 6 years old.
I've actually done one of her hair tutorials.
Oh, hey!
I've actually done one of her hair tutorials. I know you don't top knot.
Yeah.
But did you ever feel... Shut up. Did you ever feel pressure? Because again, in Nigeria here, you can walk almost any streets we're on. You'll see somebody in the corner in a shop who'll do your hair. Did you... I can't hold your hand. Did you feel any pressure to assimilate, to relax your hair, to make it easier for it, one, easier, then two, to be more accepted in the society you moved to?
I think from both sides, even while I was in Nigeria as well, in boarding school, I remember I relaxed my hair in SS2 just so I can look like my, you know, I can fit into my peers. And everyone's hair looked straight and slick. And so that looked better, right? Yeah. That looked nicer at that age. And then moving to Canada as well, still having to cover and shield myself just so at least I could get a job. There's a way you're going to look a little bit too Afrocentric. I was like, automatically, I don't know, some people tie, you know, black women's hairstyles to aggression. Yeah. And I was just like, girl, I'm just being me. Like
our hair is gravity defying. Yeah. It's going straight to God.
Literally. So I think that part of it, and that's why I said it was a thing of also finding my identity with my hair. So my hair was that means of like expression and trying to find who I am as a person.
You're doing well.
Thank you. I love this expression you found.
You said, but you said you don't have hair.
But why are you holding on to tresses that are not yours?
Hey, our next story.
I can't remove my, don't tell me to remove my wig here.
Our next story looks at the tit for tat that seems to be happening between Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima and the leader of the UK's Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch. Now, on Monday, the Vice President accused Badenoch of disparaging Nigeria, her country of origin. He said, Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party, we are proud of her despite her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She's entitled to her own opinion. She has every right to remove the Kemi from her name, but that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria. 1 out of every 3-4 black men is a Nigerian, and by 2050, Nigeria will support the United States and will be the 3rd most populous nation on earth, end quote. He also emphasized the crucial role of migrants in shaping societies and driving economic growth, reaffirming the government's commitment to protecting migrant rights and acknowledging their contributions to national development. Now, in 2022, Badenoch, a British MP of Nigerian descent, accused Nigerian politicians of mismanaging public funds. And following her election as Conservative Party leader in November of 2024, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, attempted to contact her office but received no response, according to NIDCOM chairman Abike Dabiri Erewa.
Okay, so Olukemi Olufunto Adegoke Badenoch was born in
her full name.
In Wimbledon, London. Her mother had travelled from Nigeria to the UK to give birth in St. Teresa's private hospital before the British Nationality Act 1981 abolished automatic birthright citizenship for those born in the UK. Her mother returned to Nigeria shortly after she was born. Now, Badenoch has responded to the vice president. Her spokesman said she stands by what she says. In other words, I said what I said, and is not the PR for Nigeria. She is the leader of the opposition, and she's very proud of her leadership of the opposition in the country. She tells the truth. She tells it like it is. She's not going to couch her words. I have 5 words with a question mark. Can we leave her alone?
Adanna, what do you think? So it feels like
now that you're Canadian, let's know what you're going to do.
It feels like we tend to try to claim every person of Nigerian descent once they are on the global stage. And then, but this one is Ella. She has even before she became leader of the Conservative Party, she's been delivering Ella back to back. She talks about the insecurity in Nigeria, how it's not safe, how can it come. And it felt like even though you say let's leave her alone, I feel like she continuously makes Nigeria part of her spiel. It's part of her foundation, her platform on what to talk about.
So I think she only played that card during the campaign. And
no, she's been playing it before the campaign, babes.
So she didn't think that Nigerians were going to come and want to rally around her. Maybe she just wanted to use it as a PT story, you know, where I come
because
from.
Conservative Party is quite anti-immigrant.
Yes, that's always the mantra, oh, where I come from, this and that. And all of a sudden, after the elections and everything, you are dissociating yourself to the highest level from Nigerians. My own is, if you tried once, she gave you a lie. You tried another, she gave you a lie. Leave her alone now.
Adanna, please talk.
Nigeria in diaspora. Wow. I don't know what to expect.
Are you PR representative? Do you feel the pressure?
I'm very, very much, of course, pro-African in general. Like I stand for...
Obviously.
I stand for my culture wherever I go. It doesn't matter whether I'm in Canada, America, whatever. I am very much pro. Like, I celebrate us as we are. But it's quite a sensitive matter. And I feel like people's experiences kind of shape how they view certain things. This is a lot.
I think you're remembering Davido, because don't forget, was it just about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And the idea that anybody of Nigerian descent who's in the public light sort of has to carry the banner of Nigeria. I don't necessarily think that's a fair responsibility to put on their shoulders, but it's interesting. She says that her allegiance is to the United Kingdom and that it is her role to prioritize British interests, not to represent Nigeria's image abroad. But she's been very, very vocal and she's made many comments. There was a time that she was speaking in a parliamentary debate on the UK's response to the Black Lives Matter movement, and she defended British colonial history. Her remarks, coupled with many dismissive comments about Nigeria, also attracted criticism from many prominent figures. So this is not her first, run around the circle, run around the block when it comes to talking about Nigeria and having to either defend her statements. I don't think she's ever retracted anything. That woman, Koranyo, she doesn't. I said what I said. Is what I said. Is what I said. Lolo, you wanted to say something.
All I know is sometimes we are Nigerians. If somebody says, I do not want to associate with you, can we just give it a rest a little and just allow her be? And I know that life has a way of happening. That the place she thinks that is not of relevance to her can actually rise up and become something
she was
that
rich
she needs.
She was 16.
So it might become something that she needs.
Well, let's not lie.
Give it
sometimes
time.
Life is not
give it time.
Life on
give it time.
No. So let's be honest though. Sometimes life is not a fairy tale. She may never need Nigeria.
I'm just
so
saying,
let's not sit around waiting for when she will come back to beg us. I'm
not even expecting begging. I'm just saying that let everybody maintain their champion in different places. If Nigerians are so quick to do it, and maybe this is something that would make us rethink when we want to...
Let's associate with people who want to associate with us.
Leach onto someone who is of Nigerian descent, but Nigeria has not contributed anything to the person's life. It's just like when that boxer...
Anthony Joshua
became prominent. The way we just swooped in and started to carry the ball up and down, what did we do for him? So Nigeria needs to know that everybody that lives out of this country goes with an impression. And if she left at 16, she was still young, a little. And the impression she got must have been really bad for her to hold on to the bitterness till now.
I don't believe it. Let me tell you why I don't believe it.
Because the bitterness seems very deep.
She's a member of a party that is quite anti-immigrant. And it's part of a lot of the people's spiel, I'll use that again, to obviously say that immigrants are not welcome or immigrants don't add to British society. We're hearing it in Canada and the UK and the US as well. But it's part of their repertoire to always find a way to downgrade immigrants. And I felt for her, she was picking on Nigeria so that she could separate herself from us for her own political fortunes. And it's fine. At this point, Auntie, sit in your corner, as long as you keep Nigeria's name out of your mouth, I hope that our leaders will keep your name out of their mouth.
Exactly.
Simple. Let us all come over.
Everybody give themselves sense and allow. Because don't use this for campaign.
What did you say? Don't use this for campaign.
So because the situation was she dragged us out and now she's pushing us away. Like we're on our own way, started saying Nigeria. And now Nigeria is trying to come and we're like, hey, stay lane. It's just not, everybody just leave each other alone.
When they come, you know what is in our fashion. Maybe they really didn't come the way they should come.
So she's
because
talked-
sometimes there are many things, politically, there are many things that happen behind the room.
That we don't know.
behind the door
I don't
that-
even know what contract she is.
Yes,
that's what I keep saying. Like, you don't know what contract is quite
She's the
sensitive.
first
before
black
they will go and
female
dirty your
leader.
white.
She's the first black female leader of a party in the UK, and that in and of itself is pressure. It's pressure. It's also to be applauded. But oftentimes, sometimes minorities or women are brought in when you need to clean up a mess. And we know what's happening with the Conservative Party in the US. They have a mess to clean up. You've gone through Rishi Sunak, who was also of Indian heritage, first UK Prime Minister of Indian heritage. He too was, why are you always talking about immigrants? Your parents were immigrants. Whether legal or illegal, they contributed to the society. And now all of you want to close the door.
I find it very ridiculous because it's just like the path that you walked, you want to block others from having it.
Starting a new leaf.
Oh.
A new leaf.
Yeah.
Okay, Adanna, you're in Nigeria. How long have you been in Nigeria now?
How long has it been? I have to look at her, like, how long has it been?
When are you leaving?
I probably leave in next 7 days.
Okay. So we've done our best. We've brought you to Jastiri. We've talked with you. We've done chocolates and caramel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today,
Of course,
Adanna.
thank you.
All right. So we are heading into a weekend. I don't know if it's going to be a weekend of rest for you guys. We're holding this story, and this story might have to be coming on Monday. If you're not following the story of Marcus Fakana, you need to go and follow it. He's an 18-year-old British boy who's been sentenced in Dubai for having sex with a then 17-year-old British Indian girl whose mother reported him to the Dubai police. There's a lot, but I think we'll have updates by Monday and we'll be able to take it then. But Adanna, thank you so much for joining us. Hot Topics is a wrap. It's also a wrap on the show for this week. We'll see you 10 a.m. West African time on Monday, bright and early with the lovely, gorgeous ladies of the award-winning Jastiri. We're just 10 days away from Christmas, and I think it's like 19 days away from the New Year. So whatever the holiday spirit is, please keep it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.